Verse 1, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Verse 2, the earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. That is the word of God. The thing that we must be reminded and learn from this passage is the meaning and the importance of the words that say God created the heavens and the earth. Zviamba mini uri mudzimu osikaita dhuru nalipasi. Ndingani ayo maipfi aandeme kana ndi andeme hani ngauri ndi maipfi anara kwawana mathomoni abhibhiri. They are well known. Everybody who reads the Bible probably can say these words from memory. But the question here, do we understand? Do we apply what these words mean? Because understanding, there is no Genesis 1, verse 1 and 2. Ndiyo a foundation. Mteo wa ufesesa our existence kana wa hone hashu. But also our life and zvinera fanoita rechitera mudzei. And if tuvne rakori ndizande nozumbura namusi rono zvipfaruchi. Because sometimes you can hear things many times, say it many times, and it loses meaning or you don't understand its meaning. So it's important that on a day like this, we read and understand or remind each other, God created heaven and earth. This is God's revelation. And it is revelation about God. Chapter 1, verse 1 and 2. Limatomoni abhibhiri. Bhibhiri iribudza ngamudzi. It tells us about God. Actually, the whole chapter. God said, God did this. Actually, if you count, Mangawana uchikwambwa mzimu, kutosvika 30, nakaine ndima pezi. But when the Bible begins like this, iba ikorisumbedza norumbudza uri. Bhibhiri iamba nga mudzimu. Mara ndi mudzimu unopaamba. It is God revealing himself, speaking, communicating, showing us the truth about himself. And if it is giving us knowledge, truth. Ndimi mudzimu. Chotoma rifanira kunoamba uri mudzimu ndi arehone. God exists. There exists God. And what do we mean when we say God? Remember, muhurane kazvote, creator, musiki. Ane, he has all the power. Unamdivo yote. Uhone chipinga chote. Uhone petu hote. And it doesn't depend on another thing to exist. Ubahone hamzimu azwivi kachimwe chitu kana mwe mutu. Ndiane obahone. Adzura ahone chipinga chote. There is God, a being, a rehorn. And it is a truth and a statement that is contradicting, ndurichiko hanedza dzimwe pfunzo na burereri kana religions. Hune vatu vana taruchedzo explanation about where does creation, everything come from. But not just that, but even but why taruchedza nga the spiritual world. Ngauri yes, maybe una mimwe midzimu. There are other gods. Genesis chapter 1 is an attack. Kaedzo pfunzo. Genesis chapter 1 nuima ukati dzimwe pfunzo nji urereri bunji una mudzimu muti one God who created heaven and earth. Mudzimu muti ane bibiri ya amba ngaye. But the second thing, what God is revealing about himself, or what we must understand, demanda amzim, the power of God. He is powerful, almighty. Ngor usika amzimu, the creating of God, kana usikwa zvote, usika ngahendira, zuyambelwa mzimu. It refers to God, even throughout the Bible, when it talks of creation, giving life, new life, uchurabuswa. Ndizvitu zvinezva itiwa ngamanda mzimu, zvaitwa ngamzimu arina manda. He's the one who bring everything to exist, urizvote zvive hone. Naone nandira yasika, ongotoshumisa zvitu, uita zvitu. But he creates out of nothing. Ndito zvinera fanira kudiva uri richamba nga mudzimu osikawo richihumbura ngauri Jehovah mudzimu osika. One thing that must come to mind, rekwamba nga ari namamba, rekwamba nga ari muhulani, who's great. One problem, karutendo rwashu to our faith, ndimusi richibona mudzimu samukuru, a small God, rahangwa uri mudzimu ndi arena manda, especially when faced with challenge and problem. We forget that habe una mudzimu arena manda, manda awe obonara kausika mikaduru nalipasi. But even in the way inera uruva mudzimu rarabera, the way we worship, our attitude chumwe chipinga yakakeya. Why? Because richiri rikuitira mudzimu rikomubona samuhulwane wamanda na, or is just like any person. But when we understand and remind each other what the Bible says about God who created, and he created everything, invisible and visible. Auna uri okay, maybe God of the Bible create heaven, and there is another God who create earth. Kana una mudzimu osikaho Africa, what we call today Africa, havana mudzimu o creator osika Europe. No, ndi mudzimu muti mume wa zvote osika zvote, ndi onofanira kubusa hote, ndi onofanira kuva namanda petu hote. But the other thing musirichiri mudzimu osika litaduru na lipasi, Genesis 1 verse 1 and 2, ikwamba ngare na butali, God who has wisdom. Because this creation kana usikiwa. It was decided, it was the intention, ndivyo ya mzimu. It was not a mistake. Ubahone halita dulu nalipasa. An accident. Anyway, hadona accident ya mini ngori hasina chitu. Zitu zado chaisa na zipio. Hambo tifuna accident out of this clashing of atoms and everything. Then heaven and earth was created. No, there was nothing. It was not an accident. Ubahone alitadulu nalipas. Even everything in heaven, everything on earth, zopambana, zina different shape, zina different function, kana mushumo. Zihone, not ngauri the accident. Mara huna ane abana butari. Ane udiba zote. Watarukanya. Wakono bzudzanya. And one of them verse 2. Bafo kwamba vasina chitu uswisu. There was no form, no shape. It was chaos. Nduri auna chitu. Mara God formed. Aita uri zitu zibe hone, zibe ngandila ye adzudzanya ngayo. And it's very important. Richidiba uri mudzimu ndu wa utari. Ngori ndiane aripa utari. Auri na ezuzitu. The heaven and the earth. How is it supposed to function? Zofano chimbira ha. Na hone ezutu zono kwamea ngabuchinyi. Things have been affected by sin. Where does our help come from? Guidance ivagai. Utali uvagai. Uva kamzim. Arewon. Wamanda kote. Wabutali. But the second thing, Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 and 2, is not only telling us about God, God telling us about himself, but it is also telling us about creation. Tsiko. Genesis 1 verse 1 and 2. Ikorimudza uri tsiko inahe yatoma hone. Yoba isiyo unahe yatoma bahone. Zotoma ngezasikiwa ngamzini. And ezo tunazone ziripa upfesesa ezote zinara kubona. Na zinerine rabazone. And rivari kubudzwa mini. Chotoma tsiko asimudzini. Creation is not God. There is God, there is creation. Una mdzimu, una tsiko. They talk of the universe, they talk of nature as if it is God. Tsiko ndi mudzimu. Mudzimu utovanga ngomu. Hatsiko is in creation. Is in nature. That's why we watch the mother nature. The universe will provide. That kind of language. Ikotakuaka uri rikobona hezu zirehone. Sazone mudzimu. God is inside nature. Nature itself, the universe itself, it is God. No. Genesis 1 makes clear that there is God and there is creation. Ngorasa pesa sahezo. Dene kune sazunara kwamba rawala kazo zobo nungari nature tsiko ndiyo ne mzimu. What we believe about God, what God must do. For example, giver of life. Rajezo ne mzimu abazone. Rari kezwi katsiko. Nature gives us life. Nature is our God. We take the things that are created and we respect them as if they are God. No wonder you find others praying to the sun, to the moon, to water, to animals. Why? Because they think, believe, uri hezwo zwine vha khou zwi vhona zwine zwa vha kha creation ndi zwone mudzimu, ndi zwone zwine zwa vhafha zwine mudzimu a fanela u vhafha zwone. But we are being shown here, creation is not God. It is created. There is God. But number two, creation, or what is created, is not all that there is. Asi zwone zwire hone fhedzi. Hezwi zwire hone zwine ra fara by hand ra zwi vhona nga maṱo. Asi zwone zwire hone fhedzi. There is God. Genesis 1 verse 1 and 2, it is also teaching and correcting or attacking teachings where there's no materialism kana naturalism. Hune vhathu vha ḓo vha khori no, this is all there is. There's nothing spiritual. That's why vhaṅwe vha tshi ḓo ri ahuna mudzimu, ahuna varuma, ahuna life after death, ahuna uya ṱaḓulu, ahuna uya heleni. Vhutshilo vhu fhelela hanefha. You enjoy this life, you do whatever you want here, and it's over. Namusi uchi kamba nga urabela. No, there's nobody out there. Vhaṅwe vha kolela bari no, you are praying to an imaginary friend. Nduri tonga ṅwana ara vhono vhona ṅwana tshe mutuku ku soko amba yete, just talking alone. When you pray, you're talking to someone who's not there. You're like a small child playing with an imaginary friend. There's no one. Ndizvithu zvonokotakuwa kapfunzo dzenedzo dza uri all that there is only this which we touch and can see. And zvinoita uri vathu vambodzisedza fedzi kha hono utshilo. Priority, the main thing is what I do here. Gather the possessions, eat good food, live the soft life, because that's very important here. That's all there is. But I don't care about life to come, because there's no life to come. No, actually, the real life, the real thing, the real existence, as Israel, the real ndizoreka mudzimu zvine ari kono zvibona nga mato haya titori vhathu vakomfana ngori arali ri sa pfi zvoro zva vhukuma ndi zwifhio vha ḓo wana focus vhutshilo hashu ri sedza zwezwi fhedzi. It's all that there is. Matsina hapa huṅwe ita preparation ya uya kha zwa lini na lini, kha zwa vhukuma kuma. Hezwi zwikoyoswa zwikoyopela zwina hezwa thoma hone, zwina hune zwa ḓo fhela hone, mara huna zwa lini na lini. Ri kwamba mudzimu, uva na mudzimu, uva kha mudzimu. And if you don't understand that, you won't even understand the question of death. Now hapa kha Genesis 1 lufu lwasathu vha hone, mara zwimwe zwine zwa ri thusa ukunda zwine ra khou zwi vhona hafha shangoni na u ṱuwa hashu fhano shangoni ndi u ḓivha uri habe hezwi a si zwone, a si vhufhelwa vhutshilo, zwoṱhe zwi ngo fhelela hafha. There is greater, there is the eternal, there is the real things which are God. Mara shabra ri chamba nga creation, tsiko ishaya mudzimu. Creation depends on God. Not fedzi uri tsiko ive hone, but also to continue ihone. Mudzimu ngo soko sika kamusi asoko siya tsiko yoto ralo uri kha ichibidze. No. Mara God upholds, ndiye otikawo. Ndiye otikawo zothe. And even kariso kujela ngori namsana kwamba rikufanira kuhumbura nanga mafunga Christian education. Uguda. Science aifanira risaka urwana mzimu sathu. Whether we're talking of geography or biology or other sciences, other studies. Dzasafanira rituisela kule rasiya mzimu. Richiko guda ravona ngari. Everything is running on its own. Kariso kujela kuguda mutu. Una mbiru, una maropa, there is lungs, there is mind. And you think, yeah, hey, I'm intelligent. This thing is going on its own. Auna mzimu ha. Kana riko guda una hamvura. Tidoro batu weta geography na. Kana batu weta umini the science ha. Mara vevori madi ayanda. Havana makore. Yes, ndi vitu votudzanywaho nga mzimu. Mara na vela panda zvihoro. Zvikoitiwa nga mzimu. And when you understand that, zviri trusa uri naka uguda. And we uguda as if we are going to be independent and be on our own. Mara actually uguda utoita uri ridive mudzimu more. To be amazed umangadzwa uri how namudzimu aita zvito zvakudengorari namudzimu avekanya to arrange things like this, all these natural laws, biological laws na milayo kati ya vatu ndi vitu zvine rafanira kusvika razviguda mara zvaita uri rivone rivirise kamudzimu mara ngoro mutochinyara uya aguda tsiko aita tsiko ya mzimu, ashumisa tsiko ya mzimu, and it ends there. Abonongari creation tsiko yoto imanga yone ine. It's a closed system. Iko dichimbidza yone ine. And yane pa une vamwe vatochuwa uri hey rekopedza na vitu zvashako. Vamwe vachitutuwedza vachimotivate uri hey sombolesa dzinama. Vatutuwedza ngazve. We are finishing the resources of the earth. Mara rekomba pedzi rosedza shango ravarisa kwamba rosedza uri una mudzimu ani ava involved riamba pedzi zvezvibona ravo as if na solution dzibva kare nepedzi mandi vitu zvine Genesis 1 namuseko rokumbudza na uchira hashu even our life we need God ufema to eat. The rain, our birth, our death, our health, we depend on God. No, because we have psychology, we have medical knowledge, we have got this and this, we can fix and solve on our own because we don't need God. We have our own intelligence. No. Actually, our intelligence must remind us, must lead us to see that creation not only is created by God, but we need God. When we learn tsiko, raguda no shumisa tsiko, zvifanorisa kamzi. Mara chokwenzi say, when we talk of God created heaven and earth, zvitangana hari, mudzimu na tsiko, relation of God and creation. We as the creatures, what does this knowledge do for us? How does it connect us with God? Number one, to know and believe God, the creator of heaven and earth. Because this is God's revelation. We must know Him. He is calling us to know Him, to have a relationship with Him, to know Him, and that knowledge, ita uri ribe na bushaka a right na mzi, and bushaka Nibushaka, a relationship where we know that God is higher than us. Because let's talk of worship, prayer, and all other things. If we are to do them the right way, it's when we understand that we are doing for God. He is not our equal. As tanga yashu. Mungana washu. No, he is higher than us. It's like going to a king. It's like doing for a king. And therefore, humility. And the humility God is higher than me. He is above me. I need him. He doesn't need me. I follow him. Not that he must follow and do what I want. And then our knowledge is limited. God knows everything. Not just information about the past. Not just information about every single detail. But God understands. The one of faces. We have questions. We might not know everything. We ask, and we might not get answers to everything. Why is this Why is this happening? Yes, we might ask that question. But we might not have answers. Not automabudzisa ari must I do this? Must I do like this? As if he must get permission from us. No. Mudzimu kuita ngaudiva hawe ngamanda rinderi fano bitukupatsa. And when zvina musi richizidiva udiva mudzimu zvaita uri rimu open to fear him, to respect him. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. The beginning of knowledge is the fear of God. Uranga handivo lu offer zi. Uoffer mudzimu. What is to fear God? Is to respect. It is to honor him. It can happen even among us, Sabated. We read the Bible, Genesis chapter 1. Yes, now I believe that God created heaven and earth. I believe there is God. But practical atheism. Atheism, there is no God. Now, practical atheism, in my life, I live and do as if there is no God. What do I mean by that? We're in problem. I look only at myself. I can help myself, I can solve. I don't pray, I don't ask God. Succeed. I was successful in something. I achieved. Who do I think? Who do I acknowledge? Yes, ndokona chikuluni, ndokona mushumoni, ndokona business, ndokona kamusimuta, mutuna msadzi, unamunna, unabana. Congratulations to me. Mutu had called there in moon. Where is God? No. It was my effort. I'm proud of myself. Not God. Where is God? But even like a chiro, haduba. God sees us, He's everywhere. God is here. We must respect Him. You know, it's like, for example, Ayani, or maybe at a workplace. We know there are parents. We know they are serious. the boss is watching me. My parents are here. Mara hato fiba boyanda. Wana watu wachi ba relaxa. Umwana mulayo awuchatebeliwa. Zenda bandishi pano shuma atchaita mini? Atchaita. Why? Because the boss or the authority is far. But when the authority is here, bawana vichita something kaiwe. Kauri, my attitude to what I'm doing. And that's what we are saying about God. To fear God means that. He is watching. He will ask. I have to answer. I have to account. Mara zoite sabatendi, sababali babili. Bawana richira. God is there. But our life, our daily activities, we live as if God is far away. God is asleep. God is not near. God is not watching. Really practical atheism. And one of when we say God created heaven and earth, when we say we know God, we believe God, we humble ourselves under Him. As if He is here. He's not some God far away. He's here with us. He is here watching us. He is here to help you. He is here to guide you. But number two, God created heaven and earth. What must He do for our relationship na mzimu? We must worship and love God the Creator. God who revealed Himself in the Bible. Auna mzimu. Auna mzimu ana rafanlo umupa title ya ufi mzimu. Ngamda mzimu hoyu wa Bibili. The God in the Bible who revealed Himself through the Bible is the true living God who must be worshipped and prayed to. And if we don't understand that, why must we have a Sunday? Where we gather as church. Why are we gathering? Exodus 20 verse 11. God created everything in 6 days. He stopped creating aware 7th day. Baripa aware. That arrangement, yoitonga mzimu. Muzimu sika uchipinga, who create time and life. 7 days ivaka mzimu. Muzimari duality. Nifano kubangana. Nifano tangana nanne. Give that day to me. You won't do that if you don't believe Urumzimu, Jehovah, Osika zote. You won't. You would rather give time to other things. They are more important. Ngorezuri chamba nga worshipa, nga uruba. Rekwamba zitu zine razita, rechiko zita ane abamuhuane. Ane rakuri ofanelwa ngokodiwa. Ofanelwa ngorendiwa. Rifurubera ene. Rifanelo upfa ene. That kind of honor. Rifanelo ipamuzi. Ngaurindieni osika. Yes, obviously, number 2, He saved us. But the number 1 thing, He is creator. He is the owner. And we are having time to meet with God. And even in everyday life, bawana ngorindi adibo mzimu sika zote. Ndifanlo mupachipinga chorabera. Ndifanlo bara bibili ndapachi ambana. You won't do that if God is not important. Kardoya naka Acts chapter 40. Ori musiri chamba ngori batu people are lost. One of the things, number 1 is that muzimu hoyo ane afi osika zote abako mugulisa no murenda no mupa zofanela. Now in Acts Mishume Apostle chapter 14, imapungo noko tomaka verse 8. Paulo na Barnabas bawa betu ono feel Lystra, and they found a man who was crippled. As they were preaching, he believed and he was saved and he was healed. Musi crowd ichibona sorry. Oh, a miracle happened. A man who couldn't walk now is walking. What did they do? Verse 11. They lifted up their voices in their own language. The gods have come down to us. Midzimu yodakarine yababatu. Barnabas, they called him Zeus. Paul, they called him Hermes. Those were the names of the Greek gods. Ndiye midzimu. Ine vantu vakurabhera yone. Vachibona mchiro. Vachibona health. Vachibona uchidzwa. Vone vazvijiya. Varenda. They praise other gods, other things. And what did Paul and Barnabas do? Verse 14. They tear their clothes and they cry out. You did good things. You did amazing things. Hey, people are talking about me. I'm trending. Vatu vakumpana zvipiwa, vakumpana dzicherede, vakugwadama, vakuimbana dzinyimbo. Ngaiwe, ungatakalanga manda, nduri ungatakala wavona uri ari wazvipinga zvana musi atizodobvera naka dziInstagram naka Twitter tudoko trenda vaona mamwe kutakala chiri people are talking about me, they are liking me, I'm getting an award of being the most talked about person. What? The glory comes to me. The praise comes to me. I'm taking the people's attention and devotion and time and data and money and everything is coming to me. That's not what Paul and Barnabas did. They said, no. That kind of attention, chipinga hecho, that kind of devotion, that kind of honor. Listen to verse 15. Why Nikwita like this? We are like you. We are here to bring you good news. That Remburuwani reaches to Sachiri and come to the living God. Those things are not worthy of worship, respect, and honor. There is one living God whom you must worship. The Muzimu who made heaven and earth and the sea. Nazote zurekazo. Verse 16. You are in the past generation. Muzimu olicha. Watu wako chimbira ngambira. Marazuno Muzimu. Obapa. Natsumbezo. He gave them evidence. When the rain rained. When people are eating. When people are getting harvest, marangori people were blind. Babona kano harvest, good rain. The ancestors. Duba. Bangobamba Mumizi. Unamzima chilao basho. Onofia hova. Arehone. Ramanda ote. Ndiye nofano rubi. Ndiye ane rafano nekedza kuchiro hasho. Richiri koitala ene ngori ofanewa ngaushumeiwa. Ofanewa ngaugwadamewa. Ofanewa ngaunewa chipinga. Ofanewa ngaunewa zvipiwa na cherede. Ofanewa ngauimberwa. Ofanewa ngauambiwa. But if we don't see the wonder, the greatness of the living God, it's a waste of time. I've got other better things to do. No, there are other things which I love and I honor more than God. And it's upside down. Our devotion. Mutu kana ndi mungana wanga ndi spouse changa ndi mwananga ndi celebrity ndikomujia ndamuisanginda ndamugagamisa ndamurespecta chipinga changa attention yanga praise yono yakamutu I give to a person, I give to a thing. And that's why we need Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 and 2. Urukumbudza urihambe unosika. Orisika. Orisikera mini. Uribe bawe. To give him honor and praise. Marachopesera. What must he do? This knowledge that God created heaven and earth. We must trust him. We must depend on him. We trust him. Richikuhumbera kaya uchiro. Rishaya guidance. Rishaya utari. And when it's not a fan of Zubona Nanga Mzima Chisika. Une Zote Vea Sika. Oba Akuripa Narine Sabatu. Bro, Vado Navajivara Chisafasi, Vado Diva. Mutu Osiko Mapisino. Mutosiko Mapisino. Droztonga. Niko Toma Napatandu. Nakonobeya Mutunga Go. Urikadzule. Mara usika mzimu, the creating of God. Zvazi kurukumbudza uri mudzimu, ndi mudzimu arina ndava natsiko. He takes care of creation. Hongosokosika arata chitu. Savila zvine mutu vawana izvo zvipinga worenga chitu wachava nandava nacho. Kana mubebi asina ndava namwana. Vawana mutu orata mwana. No. God is not like that. God cares for you, his creation. Unandava na wonesa tsiko yawe, zvibumbia zvawe. Enakauranga tsiko. Achiripa mvura, achiripa kupora, achiripa zviliwa. Nduri mudzimu kuri vavarera. He helps and provides. And one of them is uri kunde nyongo. Ndifana zvino zvaita uri kunde dzimbilaelo, dziwari. Safune Matthew chapter 6 yamba zvore. Chapanga, seek the kingdom of God and its righteousness. Ngori ari ndikofana zviita. Ndingasizvikone ari ndine dzimbilaelo. Oh, ndidolami, ndidonwami. Mara Jesu ari abe mudzimu ndeni osikawo maruva, osikawo zvinoni. Abvera panda ngozvitogomera. Viwe, angabalo hanu nitogomera. Mara rea barero furupera mudzimu. Ra opa, ra chuwa. Zvaisana kausafa mudzimu. Why? Ngauri rohango rabe hili shango ndila mudzimu. Ndiena liranga. Wotodidisa pano shango liwa. Chipinga chevapuwa pano shango. Vopuwanga mudzimu. Vuchilo vapuwanga mudzimu. Zvote izvi zvibva mudzimu. Lipasi ngalitadhuru ndizvavo. Endenepo nemusi namusiriko shaya riakai mudzimu kavari tuze. Namusiri zadhiri zvamachero ngori ari zvidhiri. Ndifurupera mudzimu varangawo zvote. Ndasidzichimbidze ngamune ndabobva ndandira. Mara I trust in God, who sees the future, who knows the future, who controls the future and every situation. And mapeseloni azvote. We know that una uchiro usabi. Una uba ka mudzimu. To be with God. To be where God is. Narine abanarine. And una vota zvakopera. Hoyu mudzimu osika. Udosika litadhuriswa na lipasiliswa. Mara ari lezo tuzisintoni yasho. Ritokopa rufu. Rarata mudzimu. Rali chaufurupera mudzimu. Rabokhera. Let me end by looking at Psalm 136. Psalm 136. Vaone chikorenda mudzimu chilidzi na rufuno rwake. His steadfast love. And how is this steadfast love praised? But wakuzvibona kazve mudzimu asika. Psalm 136 verse 1 to 9. Verse 1 iri, thanks to God, for he is good, for his steadfast love endures forever. Verse 2, he is God of gods. His steadfast love continues forever. Verse 3, he is Lord of lords. Verse 4, he alone does wonders. Uitazvitu Zverenga nṱha hashu, zverenga nnḓa hashu, zwine ri zwi pfesesi. His steadfast love continues forever. Verse 5. Nga vhuṱali hawe, his understanding, he made the heavens. 6. He spread out the earth. Verse 7. Ndiye oita dzimbone, the lights of the sky, the sun, the moon and stars. Savune verse 9 yakwamba. And his steadfast love endures forever. Not just who cares for creation, who gave us light, who gave us rain, who gave us purpose. Marindi mzimu onofuna kereke yawe. Onofuna na usumbedza tshilidzi kha vhane vha mufulufhela. That's why ori pana Yesu Kristo. Musi ro khakha rine. Ro furiwa nga Sathana. Ra hangwa mudzimu sikaho zwoṱhe. Ra tshinya. God didn't forsake us. He didn't give up. Mara va wana achiripa Yesu Kristo. Achiripa ngoho. Achiripa uchilo. Rafanelo uchila richidiva uri rinayo. Unarime. And God is much reference that this truth, this statement, must not just be something we know in our heads. We know from reading the Bible, but not applying it, not understanding it. Comfort us, but also encourage us, strengthen us. Richipfesesa uchilo. Richipfesesa uri zwithu zwi khou bva gai zwi tshi ya gai. Huna nnyi ari roṱhe. Amen.